I'm Martin Jarvis, and once again, I want to welcome you to listen. Gas prices. Everybody's freaking out about gas prices. I'm not. You know, it's not like we haven't been here before. This is life. Goes up, goes down. Situation overseas goes up. Situation resolves itself, it goes back down. So I really don't worry about the gas. I'm a $50 man. I don't care what the prices are. When I go to the pump, I just put $50 in, and I just work off of that. And I did put $50 in my truck the other day. It usually just about fills up my truck. I'm feeling all confident because I'm a $50 man. I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden I look at the gas tank, man, and only filled it halfway. I have another little car, a little Nissan, which, you know, gas mileage, good gas mileage and everything. I love to zip around here, put $50 in. Looked at my tank, it was half full. Oh, shoot, man. And my daughter's car, I filled that up, man, like $30 or so, a little bit more than $30 filled it up. I'm glad for her. Well, glad for me, she had to pay for her own gas. But anyway, fuel is the thing. I think what I've learned, well, see, I was never a guy that, you know, goes a whole lot of places, you know. Once I got married, it was like my running days were over. So I go to work and I come home. Okay, and that's my thing. And we go to restaurants, movies every so often, but I don't go here and there a lot. Okay, so but I think in this time when we have this economic issue, especially as it pertains to gas, we need to start thinking about some things. Especially if we're kind of limited with money. Okay, if we don't have that much money. See, I work about 10 minutes away from my house, so it's just I'm very fortunate as far as that goes. But I think one of the keys that we have to embrace, I think we should embrace, to help us out, is conserving fuel. And now this program isn't about gasoline, but I'm using it as an analogy. You know, we need to conserve our fuel, because this is listen, an urban commentary, okay, to black folks. Now, anybody can grasp a hold of these concepts, but this is what I'm directing this to, because we have a very unique situation in this nation. I think our unique situation in this nation has not been hidden from any black folks. I know I had a conversation with a white person that I know, real cool person, one of my high school algebra teacher. High school, man. So this was like from back in 1974. And she's in another state right now, but we're Facebook friends. A real nice person, good person, and works on these, trying to teach inner city kids, and doing a lot of good work, good liberal, white woman and all. But what she was telling me, sharing with me, is that when they passed that Emmett Bill, anti-lynching bill, that Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, that she cried. Okay. Really? Okay, good-hearted person. And so I shared, I'm not really that concerned about an anti-lynching bill, okay? My concern is the present. And she went on to kind of tell me, well, you weren't around when Emmett Till was killed. I was, and I remember the pictures of lynchings and my dad. I mean, she's a good person. Better than most, I think, white people, as far as being, aware, But as I shared with her, like Emmett Till's situation from today's perspective is the past. Now Emmett Till, at the Emmett Till moment, that was the present. We are now in the present. Our future is which will be the present for our children. Okay, we don't have the luxury of romanticizing a tragedy that we witnessed 60 years ago. And now finally there has been resolution for that young dead person, who was heinously killed. Now, that's the past. What should be is if there was a memorial to Emmett Till in a time when there was total equality, when there was no racism, when there was no issues with the authorities and black folks and hiring and racism and all this mess, then it would be a time to create a statue for Emmett Till and remember him. But in a moment, while we are still in battle, we're not in a place to memorialize someone who fell 60-some years ago, because we're still fighting for our lives right now, okay? That's all I'm saying. And so we look at the situation. So we, even as black folks, can get hung up and get this anti-lynching bill thing. And that's all well and good and everything, but we're still in battle right now. What have you done? What have you done for me lately? What's going on? Okay? So and there are a lot of things that we could, even as black folks in America, we could be putting our hand to do or being concerned about, or and like the situation in the Ukraine, okay, for example. I'm like, it's very interesting if you notice there are not too many non-white nations that are speaking up for the Ukrainians. Now suffering is suffering, and that's true, but there's been suffering all over this planet. We're looking at a lot of brown and black folks that have been suffering far. Yemen, let's go to Yemen. Take a look at Yemen. Ukraine has not even suffered a fraction of what the Yemeni people have been suffering for years now, okay? And so we want to talk about, as strategic partners. That's what we have. Saudi Arabia is our strategic partner. And so that's a tangled web over there that we are involved in, simply maintaining strategic partners, okay? So I think it's very interesting, even when we look at that situation, to recognize that that's really not about us. It's not about black people. It brings back to mind situation, with the Vietnam War and a lot of issues that black folks had about going to fight a war and then coming back and having the same mess in this nation. My father, World War II, my father, Korea, my father was in Vietnam, as were my brothers. I'm just suggesting that when you're going to another land or you're concerned about another land of people, about freeing them, making them well, coming back and being lynched in your uniform, get your second thought about the considerations of what exactly is going on in the minds of the people who you are serving with or serving for, okay? So I'm just saying, as black folks, we need to conserve our fuel, okay? We need not to be driving places that really aren't a benefit to us, okay? Because there's going to come a time where you're going to need to go somewhere. And if you don't spend all your gas going to places where you had no real interest, you're not going to have the fuel that it's going to take to get to the places where you need to go, okay? And so that's what we're talking about then. With so many things, we as black folks, we're good-hearted people. And so we're moved here and there, every situation, because we're hearts. We give our hearts. But to go out and about being concerned about this, concerning about that, and still having the situation that we're facing here kind of jacked up, wasting our gas. So it is very, very absolutely necessary to know the difference between the places that you might be compelled to go because of your emotions or the expectations of others, and going to places where you need to go. You need to know the difference, okay? That's all I'm saying. And what I'm suggesting is, now this is to be wise. I think there's a biblical verse that says something like to be wise as a serpent, but to be harmless as a dove. And that one sentence speaks volumes, okay? Because I understand the concept of being harmless when you're not trying to defend yourself, but always defend yourself. But the part that says to be wise, okay? Wise, be wise. Now, so to me, the way I look at life, I look at it like, I appreciate the Mexicans, okay? My grandfather was a Mexican. He's Mexican. And what I appreciate about the Mexicans is the work ethic. Coming to the United States, and defying terrible odds at times just to get here. And then even here and having to stay under the radar for many of them because they don't want to get jammed up, but still taking jobs and working. Man, I was a mailman in West Dayton. I'd see houses that needed a roof. Man, I'd see some guys out there on the roof in the morning, and by the time I came back in that area in the evening, the roof was totally up. And just regular American folks, man, they'll be working on that project for a month, you know. I hired a guy once, and a white guy, and to fix our roof, and we bought him all this stuff, and he left the nails and the tiles, you know, up on the roof, you know, to come back. Man, we never saw that guy again. You know what I'm saying? But what I appreciate about Mexicans is how they can keep a low profile, stay focused, take care of their families, and have more babies, okay? I appreciate that. I appreciate that even in my grandfather's life, who I never met, that came to another place, you know, had a family, and we are the results, okay? And so what I'm suggesting is that we need to be able to see opportunities better. See, as black people, we've been in this nation so long, and especially with a lot of the ills going on, it's easy to get ourselves in a place where we are just surviving. And I believe that's what we have in many of our communities today. Some of our communities that are jacked up. Some of our communities that are totally dysfunctional. Terrible situations. Again, being a mailman, you know, in Dayton, I've seen a lot of stuff. And trust me, you know, it's not just in the black neighborhoods. I was amazed when I first got here and I went up to Drexel and I was like, oh, this is just the white version. Same with like the Northridge area, just the white version of the hood, you know, the white hood, you know. So it's the economics, okay. But as black people, because of our history here, I believe that we have inherited this attitude of surviving is enough. Surviving is okay. And then we can get so deep into the attitude of surviving that that's all we're living for. We're going to bed. We're waking up. We're just surviving. And then we can fit the buzz in there. You know, we can fit the alcohol. We can fit the relationships. We can have babies. We can do all these things that are not really conducive to bettering our situation, but it's still part of our little world, you know. Man, I went to this restaurant the other day. I picked up an order just yesterday. Man, a family came in there of like, there had to be like 15 or 16 people. A lot of kids, a lot of, you know, one woman was talking about her babies with her daddy today, and a lot, just regular stuff from our neighborhood. And they were happy, and they were satisfied. And this is, and I'm not ragging on our people, because white folks are the same way, you know, in the nation. We get satisfied with our lot in life. And we are not really trying to improve. We're just trying to the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And this is how we live. And then our kids grow up. This is the example they have, and they do the same thing, okay? What I'm suggesting is we need to sit back and recognize that the lifestyles often that we've bought into are stagnant. They're not going anywhere. When you have children, when you have generations that come into your life, we have to be preparing our generations to be better than we are, okay? And I'm telling you, I was in that vein for a long time in my life. It was just waking up for the buzz, go to work, go to the club, get the buzz, come home, eat, go to sleep, wake up, get the buzz, go to work, go to the club, you know, come home, eat, go to sleep. That was it. Years, okay. And what I'm suggesting is fortunately, I wasn't responsible for raising kids at the time. I was just a single man. But if I had raised kids, innocent babies popping in this world, just watching me 1, 2, 5, 7, 10 years, and this was the example that I demonstrated, what do you think they're going to be? Okay? I believe this is the problem that we have in our lives with the weed, with the alcohol, with the lifestyles. There is not a reality of to prosper, of to make ourselves better, of even seeing opportunities where we can find a way out, because we're not even feeling like we need a way out. This is satisfactory. Man, I was sharing with some folks not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, about how we need, as black people, we need to stop doing weed, stop doing drugs, you know, and alcohol. And he just started laughing. He said, that ain't never going to happen. And you know, he might be right for most folks, But there has to come a time, as I would tell those kids at juvenile detention, when you close your eyes, step outside of yourself, look at yourself and ask yourself, is this the way life is supposed to be? And what am I doing to these kids? Is this what their life is supposed to be? I don't think so. It's supposed to be better. And so what I'm suggesting is we need to find a way to be able to eye opportunities. Not opportunities to get over. Not opportunities to do things that are not quite right, that are going to simply be temporary in our lives. But to change our lives, to change the trajectory of our lives, the trajectory of the lives of our children. You know, in this nation, as black people, I mean, we've had a rough way to go. And we have a lot of examples of people around us that are not black, not like us, that have done well. And at times we resent that. Now sometimes we go to these hair places, you know, for the hair weave and the hair stuff and the hair accessories and all that stuff, and we find Koreans owning those places. And sometimes we resent those folks, those foreigners that have come here and that are running those stores. Still buy the products, but we resent them. What I'm suggesting is we need to stop resenting folks. Anytime you see something that you are not, that is positive, you begin to look at that person and try to determine, you know, what it is they did. You don't go to college or go to a classroom and see a teacher that has a knowledge that you don't have and resent that teacher for having the knowledge. You find out how that teacher got that knowledge, okay? So whatever you see, somebody that has more than you, don't resent that individual. Find out how they did it. See, I see the foreigners that come here, and whether they open up these hair places or running these gas stations or restaurants or whatever it is, what I see people that were gifted. I've lived in other nations. I lived in Europe for 4.5 years. I've lived in Japan and all. I've lived in the Far East. And guess what? When you see these people that come to America from foreign nations, you're seeing a very, very small fraction of the people show up. Less than 1% of people in other nations come to this nation, whether it's from India, whether it's from Korea, whether it's from China. You know, the people that come here, they're like a fraction of the population that come here. They're the special ones. They're not the regular. Come on, man. In other nations where I've lived as a young man, people are just like the people here. They go to work, they come home, they go to jobs, they come home, they go to clubs, they go to bars, some go to church, they go to temple. It's just like here. So the ones that we see, and many of us resent because of their success, they're the few. There's less than them as there is of Americans who are successful in this country. So the next time you see an immigrant that has immigrated to this nation and invested in a business and become successful, recognize they're not like most of the people in their nation, and rather than resent them, you should look at them and try to figure out what they did and try to determine then what you can do, okay? Look for opportunities. Man, that's how I live. Man, even though I practiced the martial art for many years in my younger life, and then I got older, but you know what? Even throughout, I've always still bought the martial art books, okay? You know, and because there might be an article in there that I could apply to myself, learn to do something. Never going to use it, but something I need. When I was a mailman in the inner city, I was walking like 20 miles a day, and I was double timing it intentionally for my exercise. So guess what? Whenever I go to the grocery store, I'd buy Runner's Magazine because I could find articles in those magazines that I could glean. I wouldn't go into a store, I never go to a store and don't go to the magazine section. Whether it's like a yoga, or it's a mindfulness thing, or it's a health thing, or a sports thing, or something about making food that's extra healthy for you. Man, because there's so much that I don't know. Look for opportunities to improve yourself. And that's the problem with drugs. That's the problem with alcohol. That's the problem with certain lifestyles that are not constructive, that we can get into the habit of just every day repeating. We don't improve. Look for opportunities. Man, when Obama became president, it was announced on November 11th, which was my 50th birthday. And my wife had thrown this big party for me. She even had like the nephew of Dick Gregory's nephew was the comedian that performed at my birthday party. And I was just told that before I got up to speak to the people, okay? That was the best birthday present. That was the only politician I had ever donated money to. I'm not even political, but this was an educated, young, well-spoken brother that everyone he debated with, whether it was in the Democratic primary or the Republican general election, he dwarfed them intellectually. He was a good man, a smart man, Harvard law professor, Harvard educated attorney, senator. He was all these things. And I was thinking that this man was younger than me. And I had a high school diploma. Now, so I decided that I was going to get an associate degree, just so I could say I had a degree. He inspired me, okay? Now there were a lot of folks that were ragging on Obama. Man, they were calling him from day one. We're going to make him a one-term president. He wasn't born here. He's this, he's that. All these accusations, they gave him a lot of grief, okay? And then you had black folks that were fighting in his corner on social media, on TV, here and there, in the workplace and everything, and fight. Now look, as President of the United States, you have probably the best security team, the Secret Service, in the world, okay? They have weapons that many of us have never even dreamed of, okay? So he wasn't hurting. Although we were defending Obama, thought it was terrible, he wasn't hurting. That was not the time for us to be defending Obama. He was already president. What do he need defense for? We're the ones. Situations got it jacked up often. So my philosophy in life is to look for opportunities, okay? And there were times that, remember the phrase, get while the getting is good? When all eyes are off of you, that's when it's time to do something. And that was my reference to the Mexicans. It's that when they're there, and people were down on the Mexicans, upset at the Mexicans because they're taking the jobs, really. And I remember I was in Dayton, and they had hired Mexicans to construct that new Dunbar High School. And there were these white guys coming up. I guess they were union employees, union people that did construction on buildings. And they were in the neighborhood, trying to get folks to get mad at the Mexicans. They were trying to talk to me, man. I'm the mailman. No. I mean, I'm a union worker, but come on, I'm a black man in America. I love Mexicans. Plus, my grandfather's Mexican. No, man, I like them better than I like you. If I told them, what? I don't have any problem with Mexicans. Come on. They probably do better work, less money, and plus, they're nicer than you. Okay? You probably never even been in the hood before. Until you recognize these guys are working a job you wish you were getting paid for. Okay? So the Mexicans were like laying low, looking for opportunities. That's what we need to do. And so rather than fighting Obama, I looked for an opportunity. This is the time to go to school. So what the Mexicans do, and I appreciate them, is that although the entire society, or a lot of society, was against them, when something else comes up, like maybe there's an issue with black people, and now all society's looking over here, issues overseas, so all looking over here, the scrutiny is off of the Mexicans, but they're still here taking care of opportunities, low key, handle their business. Opportunity arise, good, heat's off, handle my business. So that's what we need to look at. When the heat isn't on you, that's when you take care of your business. That's when you get while the getting is good. So while they were all looking at Obama, fighting him, who was very well able to take care of himself. I mean, we saw that in the primaries in the election, right? We need to be taking care of our business. And guess what? I was on this program saying this exact same thing. This is the time. While Obama's president, he's not going to be president forever. While everybody's looking at him, this is the time you need to take care of business. Get your education. That's what I did. And I think every week, I'm talking about it, man. Got my associate degree. Then I got my bachelor's degree. Then I got my MBA. 10 years it took me. Shoot, man, Obama was out of office for about 2 months. Then I got that MBA. When he entered office, I had a high school diploma, okay? I'm just saying, when the spotlight is off of you, that's when you need to make a move, okay? And so then, a lot of us missed that boat. And we were drinking. I mean, I remember running this one guy, man, he was so frustrating to me. I think he was half drunk. Brother. And well, Obama hadn't done anything for me. Is that where we're at? We don't have the ability to take care of ourselves. That's the old massa from the plantation attitude, because no matter how hard you had to work, how dismal your life might have been, massa always going to make sure you got somewhere to live. Massa always going to make sure you got some chitlins, something to eat, some hog guts to eat. What has he done for me lately? Really? He inspired me. I had a high school diploma from Stebbins High School. Now I have an MBA. Simply from the inspiration. Obama didn't need to do anything to me but present himself. And I wasn't high. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't occupied just in a self-destructive lifestyle. And I was able to recognize the opportunity. I got the inspiration. I recognized the opportunity. All eyes are on him. So my philosophy then is, when a situation comes up like that, and all eyes are on someone else, it's like a smoke screen. Get to where you need to get. So when that smoke dissipates, I said Obama's not going to be president forever. When that smoke clears, you're not even there anymore. So a lot of folks, probably most folks, didn't take advantage of that. I sure did. And guess what? My kids got to see it too. See, I raised my kids to understand that their job in life is to be better than your daddy. Now, when I graduated with my associate degree from Sinclair, my son graduated from UC. So in his mind, he's better than dad, right? But my daughter, she was 3 years old when I started at Sinclair. From age 3 to age 13, she watched me do homework all the time. Oh, Dad, this was the example. Children are going to follow your example. Children are going to be like you. You smoking weed in the house, you going out, you doing this, you doing that. They're going to follow your example. My example before my daughter, from the time she was 3 to the time she was 13, was how important school was. To her, I have an MBA. My child's going to be better than me. In her mind, she knows she's going to be a doctor. I don't mean a medical doctor necessarily, but I just mean a PhD. Simply because that was the example that I placed before her. I got when the getting was good, and when the smoke settled, so I had an MBA. Now we have a situation with Trump. When Trump became president, there's a whole lot of negativity there too, and there being negative people are, all kinds of conflicts going that don't even affect you. See, as black people, what we do is we get ourselves involved in so many situations we don't conserve our fuel. Situations that don't even involve us. Look, when Trump ran against Hillary, that didn't have anything to do with black folks. Hillary found that out. That's good. Because black folks didn't show up to vote for her. Okay? And then when it's between Trump and Biden, they ain't got nothing to do with black folks either. Why are we wasting our fuel? Why are we following around? What we need to be doing, while all that conflict was going on, even with Trump and the controversy and the harsh rhetoric, but then the pushback from the other side and all the stuff that was going on in the politics, here we go, another smoke screen. Eyes are off of you. Make sure that when that smoke clears and that dust settles, that you're not even there. Oh, man. I think some folks listened. Some folks didn't. Okay, so now Trump is out, Biden's in. So even through the end of Trump and then the beginning of Biden, the coronavirus, look what you have here. See, in our nation, there has hardly ever been for black people a level playing field. We've always started a little bit behind. We've always been a little bit behind, never really gotten the breaks, never getting the break. To me, that will create a strength in us. That is the challenge that brings strength, okay? So we have to channel our energies in the proper direction, recognizing that we are strong. We have the ability to be strong. So while all this stuff is going on, with all this bickering still, even with the coronavirus, all that stuff, the playing field was leveled. Coronavirus been here for a couple of years now. Everybody lost their jobs. I mean, I didn't, my wife didn't, but I'm saying the majority of Americans were affected. Actually, the world, but we're talking about America right now. A level playing field. People weren't going to work. People were losing their jobs. Stores were shutting. Restaurants shutting. Everybody was jacked up. The playing field was level. It was a time to do something. They were still offering online courses. You could get a degree. Online courses are just as valuable nowadays as courses where you attend the school. All the major schools are online now. Wright State, Sinclair, all the major schools are online now. Do something. That was the perfect. I was on the program then. Coronavirus, everybody's sidelined. The playing field's been leveled. This is the opportunity to go out there and make something of yourself. So when the coronavirus lifts, when all this stuff is back to normal, the smoke clears, the dust settles, you won't be there. Coronavirus is just about done. Where are you? Are you in the same place you were? Same place you were, same place you were, same place you were. And so now we got this thing with the Ukraine situation. We got battles going on, over Europe, and we got heartfelt people crying and complaining. We got battles, my voice sometimes, comparing what they're doing here and not doing in Middle East and African brown countries, We got a lot of other things where we could be sidetracked, but what I'm suggesting is that if your situation isn't quite where you'd like it to be, this ain't the time to be getting high, drinking, partying. This is the time to be bettering yourself while all eyes are over here. Handle your business. Get while the getting is good. Go to school. Get online. Do something. Come up with a business idea. Look at some of these immigrant entrepreneurs and try to find out how they did it and sort of tweak it to apply to your particular life. Figure it out. And what I'm suggesting is while you're trying to figure it out, maybe you can't right now. Then do whatever you can do. Put your hand to do whatever it is available to you. Get yourself in shape. Get your body healthy. Look at you. I can't see you. But I'm saying, are you satisfied with the condition that you're in physically? Are you overweight? Are you unhealthy? Are you not eating the right kind of foods? Are you not exercising? Fix yourself, man. Man, I'll be 64 this year. I try to work out every day. Cardio, 40, I can't work out like I did when I was young, but I try to do something, improve yourself. As you begin improving yourself, it's like the old saying, if you build it, they will come. So you may not have an idea for your life, but I'm telling you this, as you begin to improve yourself, ideas will come to you. I remember speaking to this one guy when I was delivering mail in West Dayton. This was probably about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And he knew I'm a minister, And one day he said, hey, Jarvis, give me a word. And I'm like, I was in a hurry that day. I said, just pray every day. And he said, no, man. He said, I need a real word. He knew I was just blowing him off. And I felt kind of bad about that, so I just stopped. I said, okay, let me think. I said, okay, look, each day, do something good for yourself. And what I mean is, I don't know what it is. You might start with your toenails. Let me fix my toenails. The next day, something else. Maybe it's my fingernails. The next day is something, but every day, do something to improve you. And what I'm suggesting is that we need to take this to heart, because if he, if me, if you, if we do everything, every day we do something to improve ourselves, eventually we're going to be coming to a point where we're going to be thinking so hard because we're not going to know what else we can do to improve ourselves. Keep improving yourself. If you build it, you will come. I guarantee you're not going to get to a point where you're not going to have ideas that will improve yourself, and eventually they will reach the aspirations. Your aspirations will reach outside of you, okay? See, I think one of the issues we have today is that we don't dream. We need to dream. There are two kinds of dreams. There are conscious dreams and there are subconscious dreams. Conscious dreams are aspirations. Aspirations, things we desire to change for our lives. We're thinking about it. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. And usually those only come with sober minds that are not high, that are not buzzed, that are focused and healthy. And then we have dreams that are subconscious, those that we have in our sleep. And what I'm suggesting is that's simply our subconscious dreams that are reaching out. Sort of like our conscious aspirations are reaching out, our subconscious desires are reaching out through our dreams. But they're only clear, they're only healthy when we're sober, when your body is healthy, when you are fit. Then you can trust those dreams. So what I'm saying is we need to begin to tap into our dreams. We need to begin to think, what is it that we would desire, our subconscious. And the only way we can get a clear picture of what our subconscious dreams are is when we are healthy, okay? So we need to get healthy. So our dreams and our aspirations are reaching out, will motivate us to do greater things than we are right now. And our subconscious dreams that have a healthy base will be speaking to us as well. So I'm just suggesting to you as we leave you today that there's always going to be something to do. Always try to improve yourself. Always do better. You cannot improve yourself getting that buzz. I've been there. You got to stop the weed. You got to stop the alcohol. You got to stop self-destructive traits. Begin to improve yourself. Whether you're improving yourself health-wise, while you're trying to improve yourself educationally, and if you can't find a school to attend, all these colleges are online, man. Before I even started school, I went to MIT. I was studying physics. I didn't even know anything about physics. Online, free classes. Actually, cameras right in the room of the professors while they're giving their lectures. Find something. If you build it, they will come. As you begin to open the doors for your improvement, opportunities will begin to come in. But you have to be minded like that. And I'm telling you, your children are watching. You'll not only change your lives, but you'll affect the trajectory of theirs as well. How's that? Well, I want to thank you once again for listening. I know I gave you a lot to think about. You take care. Bye.